Alrighty, so my name is Chelsea Moyer, and I serve as the Associate Vice Provost of Academic Partnerships here at UMBC. And there are two primary buckets to my role. I oversee our UMBC Shady Grove operations, along with my team here in Rockville, Maryland. And I also work closely with UMBC's Office of Professional Programs team, including Stephanie, who you'll meet in just a moment, to support their work in working with our graduate students enrolled in UMBC's professional programs. So my role really spans both campuses, but I am site-based specifically at UMBC Shady Grove. And we'll talk a little bit, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the universities at Shady Grove and the programs that UMBC offers on site. We'll talk a little bit about what that entails further in the presentation. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to my awesome colleague, Stephanie, who will introduce herself.
Thank you, Chelsea. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Allen, and I am the Assistant Director of Outreach, Partnership, and Recruitment at our main campus here in Catonsville. I look forward to sharing specific information relating to our Catonsville offerings a bit later within this presentation. But at this time, I'd like to welcome my colleague, Mike, who will provide an overview of the full accelerated program and representation of our graduate school. Mike.
Thanks, Stephanie. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Suiga. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions. It's a pleasure to speak with you this afternoon. If we go ahead and go to the next slide. So just a quick outline of the different sections of this presentation. I'm going to go over kind of the basics of the accelerated program. Stephanie, like she mentioned earlier, will go over the professional programs offered at our Catonsville campus. And then Chelsea will conclude with some of the programs available at Shady Grove. Next slide, please. This is just a quick link to the website. You can find it through gradschool.umbc.edu as well. Next slide, please. So what is the accelerated program that we keep talking about? The accelerated program allows our undergraduate students to get a head start on grad school by double counting graduate level courses taken as an undergraduate towards both their undergraduate and graduate degree totals. Students in the accelerated program as an undergraduate can typically take 3 grad classes between 9 to 12 credits and double count them towards their undergraduate, either 400 level degree requirements for your major, or those just to get to that 120 credit requirement for graduation. Those credits will also count if you join us as a graduate student towards your master's degree. We also offer this program to certificate students, but the number of credits that can transfer is slightly lower at 6. All students who participate in the accelerated program must become a graduate student to earn a graduate degree, and that's why those credit differences exist. It is available to all of our current UMBC undergraduate students. Next slide, please. So what's the benefit of taking graduate classes as an undergraduate? Well, it reduces the time it takes to get your graduate degree, whether it's a certificate or a master's. That's typically reduced by a semester. At the graduate level, 9 credits is considered full-time, 3 courses, and that's kind of what we line this program up to meet. Not only are you saving that time, you're also saving money. You don't pay anything extra for the accelerated program. The classes that you take are billed at the undergraduate rate. So if you're paying for full-time undergraduate or part-time undergraduate tuition and you change out one of your undergrad classes for a grad class, that's not going to affect your tuition at all. Undergraduate tuition is significantly more affordable than graduate tuition, so that semester's worth of time that you save can really help with your graduate level expenses. It also gives you the opportunity, and I think this is one of the most important parts, to see whether grad school's right for you. You know, some folks might be apprehensive or not sure about whether grad school is something that they want to pursue in the future. This program lets you get started with a couple grad classes, and if grad school's not right for you, you know, you find out really quickly. If it is right for you, it's a great opportunity to get connected with the department at the graduate level with admissions. Each of the departments are the ones who are reviewing applications, and getting connected to the department, getting connected to research opportunities within the department if they exist, and generally building a relationship with the faculty there really leads to very, very high admission rates for our accelerated students into our graduate programs. Next slide, please. So what are the requirements for joining the accelerated program? We have a few. We typically recommend 3.0 GPA to participate in the program. You do need to get department consent to join. So you want to start by working with your undergraduate advisor and the graduate program that you want to join. The form that you fill out will require both of those folks' signatures, as well as support from a couple faculty members at UMBC. It's designed for high achieving juniors, but it is open to anybody interested. We have two paths that students typically take when they're participating in the accelerated program. One is adding a graduate level course to each of their last 3 semesters at UMBC. The other path is seniors who may have one requirement left to meet their major requirements, or perhaps it's a gen ed that they need to circle back and complete, and they want to fill out their schedule, and they do that with grad classes participating in the accelerated program to be able to double count those. It is flexible. Those aren't the only 2 paths. Anything in between is also available, but just to give you an idea of kind of how many students pursue grad courses through this program. Next slide, please. So some things that the accelerated program doesn't do. We get this question kind of frequently. Other universities, we can't guarantee that the classes are going to count there. So if you choose to go to a different graduate school, they may or may not accept those credits. It's up to them. Earlier, you do need to become a graduate student to earn a grad degree. So you can't complete all the graduate coursework, whether it's for a master's or certificate program, while you're still an undergraduate student. It also doesn't guarantee admission as a graduate student, but as I mentioned earlier, the admission rate into our programs is above 90% for our accelerated students. Yeah, next slide, please. So, as I mentioned, you do still need to apply to the grad school. However, we try to make it easy for our accelerated students and UMBC alumni to do so. We waive your application fee. The transcript that you submit is just the unofficial one you can download from the registrar's website. And we also offer $1,000 off students' first semester of tuition at the graduate level through our alumni scholarship. A couple notes. There is a transfer of credit form that you'll need to fill out. And once you become a graduate student, to get those courses in. Another benefit and point of flexibility within this program, you can take a break between doing those graduate classes as an undergraduate and actually joining as a graduate student, up to 5 years. So maybe there's a job offer or travel or something else that you want to pursue in between your undergraduate and graduate careers. These courses will still double count. Next slide, please. And this is just to showcase all of the departments across UMBC that are participating. As mentioned earlier, Stephanie's going to talk to you about our professional programs, which we have highlighted in star here. But all of these programs do participate. Not all of them require the same undergraduate degree as the graduate degree you're pursuing either. So if you wanted to maybe make a change in your academic trajectory or what graduate program you want to pursue, some of these will have a lot of flexibility. For example, the education department, in what undergrad degree you're pursuing to lead up to your graduate degree. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, this is just a quote from one of our current data science students, just showcasing that it's not just us saying it, it's not just a sales pitch. Students are actively participating in this program. We have over 100 at the undergraduate level who are currently active and taking grad classes in preparation to join us at the graduate level. And similarly, we have over 100 current graduate students who had participated in this program as an undergraduate. So it's an opportunity that many of our undergraduates take up and a great way to get started. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Stephanie to talk to you about those professional programs. Thank you all so much for your time, and I'll be here at the end to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mike. Again, I'm Stephanie Allen, and I work directly with the professional programs on our main campus here in Catonsville. I'll now share and introduce the program offerings we have at our Catonsville campus. Next slide, please. Among our many points, I'd like to specifically highlight the following. Professional programs are programs that help prepare students for careers in specific fields. Accordingly, our curriculum focuses on the skill set that employers indicate are important and vital to excel in the workplace. Next slide, please. Many of our students are working professionals, so it's important to us that we provide convenient evening and hybrid courses. And to clarify, hybrid courses are a mix of in-person and remote participation. With our small class sizes, you'll not only have more direct access with the faculty, but it also allows support towards an overall work, school, and life balance. Next slide. Speaking of direct access with faculty, our classes are taught by industry experts, which allows for a relevant classroom experience as well as valuable networking opportunities. And this is important and vital both as a current student and towards your future as an alumni. Next slide, please. Within the Division of Professional Studies, we currently have 8 master's degree programs and over 22 certificate programs applicable to this. You're now seeing on screen a snapshot of the programs that I just mentioned at our main campus that are currently participating. And with the ever-growing interest in this special opportunity, we continue to expect more programs to soon request to be added. Next slide. As previously mentioned, the benefit of working with industry experts towards networking opportunities is so vital. We are very purposed in assisting our students with their professional and career goals. And as such, UMBC graduates are well sought out for employment opportunities. Therefore, this slide represents real-life examples of companies that employ our graduates. So just to highlight a few, you'll see here Northrop Grumman, the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Department of Defense, the National Security Agency, and Lockheed Martin Corporation. These are factual lists of companies who employ our UMBC graduates. Next slide, please. And now it is my pleasure to pass the mic to my colleague, Chelsea Moyer.
All righty, thanks so much, Stephanie. So as has already been noted, I am here to provide some context on our UMBC at the universities at Shady Grove operations. So you'll note on the slide, the shadygrove.umbc.edu is our general website for information about UMBC Shady Grove. And then we also have our email address here. Should you have any questions about graduate programs that are offered at Shady Grove, the accelerated program, whatever it may be, you're welcome to reach out to the SG Professional Programs at umbc.edu email. Next slide, please, Chris. Alrighty, so for a little bit of context on the universities at Shady Grove, I recognize that some of you who are in the session with us are current UMBC Shady Grove students, which is phenomenal. But we also have students from UMBC Catonsville joining us this afternoon who, you may be interested in learning more about UMBC Shady Grove and some of the unique graduate programs that we offer here in Rockville. So again, this is contextual information as you make decisions about your professional and graduate path. So the universities at Shady Grove, we often refer to it as USG for short, is technically a regional higher education center. that's comprised of 9 different University System of Maryland institutions on one campus here in Rockville, Maryland. Next slide, please. So through those 9 institutions, we're talking about schools like, of course, UMBC, University of Maryland College Park, Bowie State, Towson. All of those universities that are present on site at the universities at Shady Grove offer both undergraduate and graduate degree programs. And when you look at the programs in mass at USG, there are over 80 plus academic programs available right here on site across those 9 institutions. At the bottom of the slide, you'll see the website for the universities at Shady Grove. So if you're curious to look at what other institutions offer programs on site, you're welcome to visit that URL. Next slide, please. So I always like to highlight location because it's really critical to who we are and what we do. The universities at Shady Grove is located on the I-270 Tech Corridor. So Stephanie was just talking about industry opportunities and the fact that the graduate degrees that we offer are designed to align with industry, local regional industry needs. The universities at Shady Grove is in a wonderful location, being on the I-270 corridor when it comes to applied learning experiences, internships, and obviously ultimately garnering a position at a local company. We're talking huge biotech opportunities in the area, lots of companies and industries across a broad array of backgrounds that are looking for employees. And because we are literally in their backyard, location again is a big piece in terms of assets at the University of Shady Grove. We are located 18 miles from Washington, D.C., so a little bit closer to D.C. than we are to Baltimore. And I always like to note about 4 miles, the universities at Shady Grove is about 4 miles from the Shady Grove Metro, the Red Line. So there's opportunities if you do live in DC or Northern Virginia to use public transportation to get to campus, et cetera. The universities at Shady Grove is technically deemed a full service, non-residential campus. So what that means is you'll find pretty much all of the services and resources that you would find at a traditional 4-year campus right here at the universities at Shady Grove. Our programs are designed so that you can take all the courses you need at USG without having to travel to UMBC Catonsville. You're certainly welcome to visit the UMBC Catonsville campus and use resources there, but the idea is that you have everything you need right here on site for your convenience at the universities at Shady Grove. The one important note I do want to put out there is that, again, we're a non-residential campus, so there are no residence halls on site. All of our students are commuter students. Next slide, please. All right, so a big part of the operations at the universities at Shady Grove is focused on career readiness. We have a shared service model. So what that means is when you're talking about centers like the Center for Academic Success or Career Services, students from all of the 9 institutions on site are accessing those resources at the universities at Shady Grove. And the sort of the output of those service centers is really focused on ensuring that all students are developing skills and portfolios that are going to really prepare you for the next step in your career. So this slide really highlights some of those areas: leadership, equity and inclusion, digital technology, where through the events and resources that are provided on site here at the universities at Shady Grove, you can develop strong skill sets in those areas. Next slide, please. I just want to affirm, because we get a lot of questions from students, hey, Chelsea, if I choose to complete my degree at UMBC Shady Grove, is there going to be some sort of addendum or asterisk that says universities at Shady Grove? And the answer is no. All of our UMBC students, whether at the undergraduate or graduate level, are earning a true, authentic UMBC degree. Many of our faculty who teach at our home campus in Catonsville also teach down here at UMBC Shady Grove and vice versa. So it's the same quality education. Our students are true UMBC students. And again, just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Resources and support, I mentioned this earlier. We have all of the traditional sort of student service centers that you as a student would need to be successful right here at the universities at Shady Grove. But I will say one of the benefits of being a UMBC Shady Grove student is not only do you have that centralized array of resources and support, but as I noted earlier, you can take advantage of resources at the UMBC Catonsville campus. So you sort of have the best of both worlds as a UMBC Shady Grove student. Tuition is the same across both campuses. However, the fee structure is slightly different at the universities at Shady Grove. So you'll just want to keep that in mind as you're looking at cost and price differential. And then the other piece that I want to note here are scholarship opportunities that are unique to USG students. So as a UMBC Shady Grove student, you are eligible, or as a UMBC student, you're eligible to apply to merit scholarships through UMBC's scholarship retriever portal, et cetera. As a UMBC Shady Grove student, in addition to those resources, you also have a separate Universities at Shady Grove scholarship application to which you can apply. It's one application through which a number of different scholarship opportunities are embedded. And we encourage our UMBC Shady Grove students, again, both undergraduate and graduate, to apply to that scholarship application every semester you're a student here, because those scholarships can range from $500 to, in some cases, full tuition and fees. And again, that's just one sort of bucket you can take advantage of. You're also welcome to take advantage of all of the scholarship opportunities offered through UMBC Catonsville. Next slide, please. So just a quick sort of heads up that here at the UMBC Shady Grove, we offer 7 baccalaureate degrees that are catered to transfer students. And then at the graduate level, we offer 4 master's degrees, which, as Stephanie noted, are really catered to working professionals. In addition, each of our graduate programs offers at least 1, if not 2, in some cases, what we call post-baccalaureate certificates. So these are typically 12 credits in nature, and as Mike was sharing earlier, often serve as stepping stones to pursuing a full graduate degree. So all of the courses that a student would take through a post-baccalaureate certificate can ultimately be applied to the full master's or MPS, Master Professional Studies degree. Next slide, please. Alrighty, just as Stephanie shared with you the courses or the programs that are explicitly available at UMBC Catonsville, I wanted to include a slide in here that shows you the programs, the graduate programs that are available at UMBC Shady Grove. The important piece to note here is that there are 2 programs noted at the bottom of the slide, biotechnology and industrial organizational psychology, that are only available at the UMBC Shady Grove campus. So if you are intending to pursue a graduate degree in either of those areas, all of your coursework would be completed at the UMBC Shady Grove location. Also note that we offer both cybersecurity and data science as master's degrees. Those are 2 programs that are also offered at the UMBC Catonsville campus. Same program, same curriculum. It's really just a matter of, with cyber and data, which campus location you prefer. Okay, next slide, please. And this slide really, again, hones in on information that Stephanie shared earlier, that just as at UMBC Catonsville, here at UMBC Shady Grove, most of our classes, many of our courses are taught by professionals who are actively working in the field and who are directly connected to local and regional industry. So they're bringing all the nuances and complications and challenges of the work that they're doing outside of the university into the courses that are taught here. And I think that's just a really, really important asset in terms of what we do and what we provide. Again, flexibility is certainly a priority with the courses that we offer and the programs we offer at UMBC Shady Grove. So when you're looking at our graduate programs, you'll see that there are in-person course offerings, fully online courses, and again, as Stephanie noted earlier, hybrid courses that are sort of a combination of in-person and online as well. Next slide, please. So as I close out here, I just want to make you aware we're obviously nearing the end of the spring semester, but at UMBC Shady Grove, we do have a number of program-specific upcoming events. You'll note that our MPS and Data Science program is offering a data science graduate student research showcase on Thursday, April 9th, so next week. That will provide you an opportunity to hear from two of our current students regarding the research that they've been doing in the classroom and beyond. We are also offering a Maryland Bionetworking Summit for any of you who may be interested in pursuing the biotech pathway. We have a keynote speaker, Dr. Hanley, who will be present. And so he'll be sharing some of his expertise, and there'll be a networking portion that's part of that event as well. And then finally, our MS in cybersecurity program is offering a mock cyber attack simulation on Thursday, April 23rd. That's a hybrid event. You can choose to join in person or virtually. And it's going to bring some of the cybersecurity concepts that you'd be learning through the program into practice as you work to handle a mock cyber attack. So it should be pretty exciting and a nice hands-on experience for folks. So if you're interested in any of our programs, click on the QR code there. We encourage you to attend upcoming events, and that's a great page to sort of favorite because we'll be adding more events in the fall and beyond as we look ahead. So just keep an eye on those opportunities. Next slide, please. Alrighty, and I'll turn it back over to Stephanie, who can provide a brief highlight on the professional programs open house that's taking place in early May.
Thank you, Chelsea. One of our main campus signature events is our in-person open house. This open house is designed for students such as yourself who may be considering graduate level programs, whether that's a full master's degree or a graduate certificate. This special event is free, and it's on our Catonsville campus located in the Commons. The event includes breakfast, a current student and alumni panel, a table fair with representatives from financial aid, the Career Center, and Graduate Student Life. And then it culminates with individual academic breakout sessions of all of our Catonsville professional programs hosted by each program's graduate program director. Plus, we have a live raffle drawing in each independent room for the chance for one student each to win a $1,000 scholarship. That's very exciting. You don't want to miss that. As Chelsea mentioned at the top of the hour, each of you will receive a copy of this PowerPoint presentation and video. And so we sincerely hope you'll register for all of the events that we've spoke about today and definitely join us. For this open house, it is important that you pre-register, more so that we have an accurate account for our breakfast order as well as other planning logistics. So again, once you see these slides, you can scan the QR code. If it just happens to not work, as we know technology can happen, right above the QR code, as you see on screen, I have listed the actual website that you can put into your browser and click on. And again, it takes you directly to the registration page, as well as gives some more information on the scholarship raffle and other things that are going to be happening that day. So really hope that you'll pre-register and that you will join us. Also, I would like to mention, although I did not make a slide for this, we're having this wonderful joint accelerated session today. Also on Tuesday, April 21st at 12 o'clock, for anyone that's on the Catonsville campus, we are going to have maybe what I consider a continuation of today. And that is if anyone has any follow-up questions and or you have schoolmates that are on the Catonsville campus, we will be having a in-person information session on the accelerated programs and just giving out a couple of slices of pizza. And so again, if you have an opportunity and or you just heard so many great things today and had additional questions after this afternoon, stop on by. We'll be right in front of the bookstore. We'll have a couple of tables. My colleague is here on the call. I don't want to just throw him out, but my colleague and actually my director, Rex Jarrett, will be joining me, and my colleague, Pam Rombach, will be there as well. So again, that will be Tuesday in about 2.5 weeks on April 21st at 12 noon in the Commons in front of the bookstore. Next slide, please. So at this point, we've come to the formal in portion of our presentation, and we'd like to open the room now for any and all questions that you may have. You can either unmute and ask your question, or you can type it into the chat box that Chelsea spoke about, and you can do so as a public chat, or you can send a chat to us privately, and then we will read it aloud and answer it between Chelsea, myself, Mike, Chris, and Rex, if he has applicable information as well. And so I do see one hand raised already. Ernestine.
Hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi everyone. So my question is about the cybersecurity program. I just want to make sure of that the information that I have is accurate. Is it a baccalaureate certificate or is it a master degree program? Cybersecurity.
Right. I just want to make sure I understand your question. You're saying the accelerated program under here, is it for the master's degree?
Yes.
Cyber? Yes. All of the programs that we're presenting today is the combination of your undergrad experience to the graduate experience. So yes, our cybersecurity program that is available under this is for either the master's degree or a graduate certificate.
Oh, now I'm confused. So
okay, re-ask your question.
So the cybersecurity program, is that for baccalaureate for the certificate or a master degree?
It can be for either or.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're very
And again, Ernestine, just to reiterate, we call it PBC for short, right? That post-baccalaureate certificate is usually about 12 credits. So you're talking about 4 courses at the graduate level. And if a student would choose to pursue that certificate, let's say one of the cyber certificate options, get your feet wet, you get 4 courses under your belt. And then if you choose, I want the full master's degree, all of those credits will apply to the master's degree program. And most of our master's degrees are around 30 credits total. So with a certificate, you can get a good portion of that coursework completed. But it helps you, as Mike was saying earlier, sometimes we're not sure if graduate school or, a particular program is fitting our needs. It's a good way of sort of experimenting and exploring without committing to a full graduate degree right off the bat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you for expanding on that, Chelsea, and I'm just going to throw that in. And that's not just for cyber. For all of our programs, if you want to start off with a graduate certificate, all of those courses would automatically flow into a master's degree if you would choose to continue. All right. Please forgive me if I am mispronouncing names, but I think I saw Chioma next.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, Stephanie?
I can, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to make inquiries about the Masters in Biotechnology program. Do you necessarily have to reach out to a faculty member in order to apply to the program, or you just go and apply and do what's available on the website?
So, Chioma, I'm happy to take the response to this question. I always encourage our prospective students, so students who are inquiring about a graduate program, to proactively connect with our graduate program directors. Again, we offer a variety of events throughout the academic year, but it's always a good idea, especially if you're an interested student and pursuing a master's degree, to connect with the graduate program director, let them know you're interested, ask questions so they can kind of remind you, or remember you rather, when they're reviewing applications, should you apply. It's not required that you do that or that you reach out directly to a graduate program director when you're pursuing the full graduate degree. But if you want to pursue the accelerated program option, again, where you would take graduate courses, graduate biotech courses as an undergrad, that is going to require you. That process will require you to receive permission from the graduate program director. His name is Dr. Mark Shennerman, to enroll in graduate biotech courses as an undergrad. Does that make sense? And does that help to answer your question?
Yeah, it does because I remember sometime late last year, I tried reaching out to somebody in the department, but it was tedious because I called into the department and I was rerouted to a different college entirely, and I was told that it's different from the one in Shady Grove. So I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure who it was to reach out to. So you said the program director is Mr. Who? Sorry.
It's Dr. Mark Shetterman, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to reiterate the email address for our general graduate programs email at UMBC Shady Grove. I'm going to put that in chat for you, Chioma. And I recommend you reach out to us. I oversee that inbox along with my colleague, Chris Carrod, and we can proactively connect you with Dr. Shetterman, do a handoff, so it makes it a little bit more seamless for you if that works. Does that sound good?
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're very
Bye.
welcome. Absolutely. Yep, I'm putting that email address in chat for you. So thank you for the question.
Mike, we did have a private chat question that asked, can you remind me how to apply to the accelerated program?
Absolutely. You can just go to gradschool.umbc.edu and there'll be links on that page. If you give me 1 second, I'll just drop into chat the actual page with the direct link. Yeah, and you'll just fill out the DocuSign. It's a DocuSign form for the accelerated program. 1 second.
And while Mike is putting that in the chat, I want to remind you that you may unmute and ask your question. You may raise a hand, or if you would like, you can put the question in our chat box and we can read it aloud. We've got definitely a couple more minutes. Chelsea, Mike, I think we did such a great job that we answered all of the questions that would have come up. This is exciting. Well, again, to reiterate what Chelsea shared before again, one more time, everyone will be getting a copy of this PowerPoint as well as a copy of the video. So if you do have any follow-up questions, you will also receive our contact information via email. Oh, awesome. I see a couple of hands going up as well as something in the chat. I'm going to take the chat first and then we'll go back to the raised hands. So the question in the chat is advanced standing a different program?
Tal, please let me know if I'm mispronouncing your name. I think you may be thinking about the designation for undergraduate students first year with advanced standing, and that is entirely different. So first year with advanced standing students are typically first year students, also known as freshman students, coming into UMBC who've taken college courses as a high school student, right? And that's a separate sort of review process at the undergraduate level for admission into the university. So advanced standing is really correlated with the undergraduate sort of admissions process, whereas the accelerated program is really affiliated with UMBC's graduate school, and obviously being able to take graduate courses at the junior or senior status as an undergrad. Hopefully that helps. Yes, Simon. So if you entered UMBC as an undergrad, as a first year with advanced standing student, you absolutely later on down the pike can look into the accelerated program as an option. Yep, that doesn't preclude you in any way from pursuing everything we've discussed this afternoon.
All right, Mike, we have another private question that I'll give to you. Is there a deadline date to apply for this program?
There's not. However, you can apply at any time. We recommend students apply before registration opens for the semester that they want to start taking grad classes in. I don't know how quickly classes fill up, so making sure that you have all the paperwork in before registration opens for the next semester is ideal. However, if you miss it, still apply. There is no deadline. It's not going to be blocked. It'll just make things probably a little bit smoother if you get it in before registration opens. Another thing I should mention, along with the accelerated application, that application brings you into the program, but there is a separate form to actually open enrollment in the specific courses that you want to take. If you go to that page that I linked, it's the undergraduates taking courses for grad credit form. What that does is once you talk to your advisor and the graduate program, and you select which grad classes are going to work for you, which ones you want to pursue as an undergraduate, you'll fill out that form and we will open up enrollment in those specific sections so that you can go ahead and sign up for those classes in the same way that you do for undergrad. But as an undergraduate student, we need to, work to open up that enrollment for you. And so you'll fill that out for each semester of grad courses that you want to take. Multiple grad classes can be listed on the same form though. Yeah.
And Mike, that reminds me, just for everyone to be aware of, particularly those of you who may be considering IO, Industrial Organizational Psychology, which again is a UMBC Shady Grove specific program. It's only offered at UMBC Shady Grove. If you decide to pursue an accelerated path to that program, you'll notice when you start getting filling out the application that Mike is referencing to the accelerated program, it's handled through a platform called DocuSign. And one of the sort of items on that application mentions recommendation letters. None of our programs require recommendation letters for the accelerated program, except for IO psychology. So T, I see you're here with us. Good to see you. I know a number of you have approached me with an interest in IO psychology and pursuing that route. I just want you to be aware that for that program, there are additional recommendation letters that Dr. Lassen, our program director, requires. If you have any questions about that, again, the Shady Grove Professional Programs email is in chat. Feel free to reach out to Chris and myself. We will absolutely help to support you with that process, but that's sort of an addendum piece I want to make sure folks are aware of.
And Chelsea, I'm just going to hop on to clarify a little bit further. For all the other programs, that's all the other programs at Shady Grove. There's certain programs at our Catonsville campus that also require actual letters rather than just the professor's contact information. And part of this is why it's so important to connect with the graduate program directly when you're pursuing this beforehand, because they're the ones that are going to be able to talk to you about what they need to approve your accelerated application. At the graduate level, everything's fairly decentralized. These different programs are the ones setting the requirements, and the program directors are the actual ones who are signing this form, right? This isn't going to an admissions person or a staff member to review and complete. It is the program itself that is reviewing and making these determinations, then also setting the requirements for entry. And so we see variation across departments, and connecting with them is really highly recommended for students who want to pursue this. Don't be intimidated. They are here to help. They are here to talk to you about these programs. And I'm sure they'd be excited for you to join, especially with the fantastic education you're receiving at the undergraduate level. One other thing I want to circle back to that I just thought of, speaking of advanced standing, I'm also thinking of transfer students who might be joining. Folks can reach that graduate credit level a lot before they are here for 3 years, right? The program is available to them. Some departments may want to see a semester's worth of a semester's worth of undergraduate classes at UMBC completed before they allow you in to this accelerated program to take grad credits. But if the timing is unique for you, if you completed a lot of credits before you got here, again, connecting with the graduate department, right? They're the ones making the determination. They'll be able to advise you, hey, we want to see X number of credits, or we want to see how you do in these classes, or you're good to go, fill out the accelerated application now. They'll be able to answer all those questions for you.
There's a question in the chat. Will the follow-up email include more information about the psychology one, which I believe is the IO Psych, or how do we learn about the specific requirements? Chelsea?
Yes, thank you. So Samira, the follow-up email is going to be general in nature, so it's not going to provide detailed information about each of the programs we've discussed today. But I can place a link in chat to our IO Psychology webpage, which you're welcome to check out. And then again, if you have additional questions, the best way to find out more about the program is to reach out to me and Chris through that SG professional programs at umbc.edu email. And we're happy to sit down and chat with you about possibilities and opportunities and all of that jazzy stuff. Okay, but I'll put the link to IO Psychology, the program website in chat for you right now.
To tag on to Chelsea for the Catonsville campus, in the PowerPoint slides, you will see our email address as well as our professional programs address. And if you go on there, you will find the listing of all of our master's degrees and our graduate certificates. If you click on whichever one you have an interest in, it will take you to every piece of information you'd like to know, from applications to resources to showing you who the faculty are to actually showing you all of the actual courses, the curriculum of what you do under each of those courses. So there's a wealth of knowledge that we put in our professional programs websites, as well as Chelsea colleagues for Shady Grove, as well as Mike and his team for the graduate school. These are great questions. We've still got about 10 good minutes. In a few minutes, I am going to pass it back to Chelsea to share a couple of other ending things and end our event for this afternoon. But again, we've got a couple more minutes. If there are other questions that would like to come through the chat, through a raised hand, and or just to come off of mute and ask your question live. Okay, well, at this point, I am going to pass it again to Chelsea. If there are other questions, please don't stop asking your questions or put them in the chat. Chelsea, Mike, and I are monitoring it. So while Chelsea is speaking, we can still address those. But at this point, I will pass it back to Chelsea.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. Next slide, please, Chris. All right, so before we close out tonight or this afternoon, just a reminder of our primary points of contact. Should you have any remaining questions or concerns, again, for our UMBC professional programs at UMBC Catonsville, you'll see the email professionals@umbc.edu on the left-hand side of your screen. And for any questions related to graduate programs offered through UMBC at the University of Shady Grove, SG professional programs at umbc.edu is our email on the right-hand side of your screen. So just make note of that. We're always more than happy to assist, happy to help. We recognize that this is all probably a lot to process. So if you have follow-up questions, that's awesome. Shoot them our way. And we're happy to provide support. So with that, that's our last slide. We want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We know many of you are heading into registration period and finals aren't that far down the road. So we wish you the best of luck as you finish the semester, finish it strong. And hopefully we'll see many of you in our graduate courses in the near future. So thank you so much.